Let me ask you something that will completely change how you see power. Do you think kindness is weakness? Do you think generous people finish last? Do you think nice leaders get crushed by ruthless competitors? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are about to discover the most dangerous secret that separates amateurs from masters. Here is the brutal truth that nobody tells you. The most powerful people in the world are not the cruelest. They are the most strategically kind. Let me say that again, because this will blow your mind. Strategic altruism. The ability to use kindness as a tool of influence, not as a sign of weakness. This is not about being soft. This is not about being naive. This is about understanding something that Machiavelli himself knew, that kindness, when used strategically, is more powerful than fear. Today, I will show you exactly how the smartest leaders in business and politics use generosity to build empires, crush competition, and create loyalty that lasts decades. But first, let me be absolutely clear about something. I am not telling you to be fake. I am not asking you to manipulate people with false kindness. What I am showing you is how to be authentically generous in a way that creates maximum impact and influence. Because the reality is, random kindness gets you nowhere. Strategic kindness gets you everything. Now, I want you to drop this statement in the comments. I choose strategic generosity over random niceness. Starting today, everything changes. You will no longer waste your kindness on people who do not deserve it. You will invest it in people who multiply its value. Let us begin with the first shocking truth. Number 1. The power paradox. Here is something that will destroy everything you thought you knew about power. The people who care least about power often have the most of it, and the people who chase power desperately rarely get it. Why? Because real power comes from making yourself valuable to others, and the fastest way to become valuable is through strategic generosity. Let me tell you about a man named Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, one of the richest men in American history. You know what Sam Walton did that his competitors did not? He shared profits with his employees. He created a profit-sharing program when nobody else was doing it. People thought he was crazy. They said, "Why are you giving money to workers? You could keep it all for yourself." But Sam understood something they did not. When you make people feel invested in your success, they work like owners, not like employees. The result? Walmart crushed every competitor, not through cruelty, through strategic generosity. Machiavelli once said, "Benefits should be given little by little so that they may be better enjoyed." Sam Walton understood this perfectly. He did not give everything at once. He created a system where generosity was continuous and strategic. Now, let me show you another example. A man who built one of the most powerful networks in entertainment. Oprah Winfrey. You think Oprah became powerful by being ruthless? No, she became powerful by being strategically generous. Every time Oprah put someone on our show, she made them famous. Authors would sell millions of books. Products would sell out instantly. Careers would explode overnight. Was Oprah just being nice? No, she was building power. Because every person she helped became loyal to her. Every person she elevated owed her something. Every person she made successful wanted to maintain their relationship with her. This is strategic altruism at its finest. You give value first, you help people win, and in return, you build a network of people who are invested in your success. But here is where it gets interesting. And this is what separates amateurs from masters. Oprah did not help everyone. She was selective. She chose people who aligned with her values. She chose people who would reflect well on her brand. She chose people who had potential to succeed. Random kindness helps random people and creates random results. Strategic kindness helps the right people and creates exponential results. Think about it this way. If you have $100 to give away, you have two choices. Option 1. Give $1 to 100 people. They barely notice. They forget about you tomorrow. You create zero lasting impact. Option 2. Give $100 to one person who really needs it and will use it well. They never forget. They become loyal. They tell everyone about you. You create lasting impact and influence. This is the mathematics of strategic altruism. Concentration creates power. Diffusion creates nothing. Now, let me tell you about the dark side of this, because there is always a dark side. Some leaders use strategic kindness to create dependency. They help people just enough to make them loyal, but not enough to make them independent. This is manipulation. This is toxic. This is not what I am teaching you. Real strategic altruism is about creating win-win situations. You help people succeed because their success benefits everyone, including you. The difference is this: manipulation keeps people dependent. Strategic altruism makes people stronger while building your influence. Drop this statement in the comments. I build power through strategic value. Number 2. The reciprocity weapon. There is a psychological principle that governs all human relationships. It is called the law of reciprocity. And when you understand how to use it, you become unstoppable. Here is how it works. When someone gives you something, you feel psychologically obligated to give something back. This is not manipulation. This is hardwired human psychology. Robert Cialdini wrote about this in his book Influence. He proved that reciprocity is one of the most powerful psychological triggers in human behavior. Smart leaders understand this. They use strategic generosity to trigger reciprocity at scale. Let me show you how this works in business. A man named Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks. You know what he did that changed everything? He gave his employees something that no other coffee company was giving them: health insurance, stock options, college tuition. But Howard understood the reciprocity weapon. When you take care of people, they take care of your business. The result? Starbucks employees had lower turnover. They provided better customer service. They became ambassadors for the brand. Competitors could not understand why Starbucks was winning. They thought it was about coffee. It was not about coffee. It was about strategic generosity triggering reciprocity. Now, let me show you this principle in politics. A man named Lyndon Johnson. Before he became president, he was one of the most powerful senators in American history. You know how he built that power? Through strategic favors. Johnson kept detailed notes on every single person in the Senate. He knew what they needed. He knew what they wanted. He knew what their weaknesses were. And when someone needed something, Johnson would help them. He would pass their bill. He would get them funding. He would solve their problem. Was Johnson just being nice? Absolutely not. He was building a bank of favors. Because every time Johnson helped someone, that person owed him. And when Johnson needed votes for his agenda, he would collect on those debts. This is the reciprocity weapon at the highest level. You give strategically, you help selectively, and you create a network of people who feel obligated to help you back. But here is the key that most people miss. You cannot just give once and expect loyalty forever. Reciprocity requires maintenance. You need to keep providing value. You need to keep helping people win. You need to keep being useful. The moment you stop being valuable, the reciprocity stops working. People forget what you did for them last year. They only care about what you are doing for them now. This is why strategic altruism is not a one-time thing. It is a continuous system. You are constantly identifying opportunities to help the right people. You are constantly providing value. You are constantly reinforcing the reciprocity loop. Now, let me tell you about the mistakes people make with this. Mistake number 1. Helping people who cannot reciprocate. If you help someone who has no power, no resources, and no ability to return value, you are wasting your generosity. That sounds harsh, but it is true. Strategic altruism is not about helping everyone. It is about helping people who can multiply your impact. Mistake number 2. Helping people who do not value your help. Some people take your generosity for granted. They expect it. They do not appreciate it. These people are reciprocity black holes. Cut them off. Redirect your generosity to people who appreciate and reciprocate. Mistake number 3. Keeping score too obviously. If people feel like you are only helping them to get something back, the reciprocity weapon backfires. They feel manipulated. They resent you. The art is to help genuinely while being strategically aware of the reciprocity you are creating. It is a balance. You are authentically generous, but you are not naive about it. Machiavelli once said, "Whoever seeks to be a prince must know how to give." But you must give in a way that creates loyalty, not dependency. Drop this statement in the comments. I give strategically and build reciprocity. Number 3, the generosity monopoly. Here is something that will change how you think about competition. In most markets, you compete on price or quality, but smart leaders compete on generosity. And generosity is impossible to copy. Let me explain what I mean through one of the most brilliant business strategies in history. A man named Tony Hsieh, the founder of Zappos, an online shoe company that sold for over $1 billion. You know what made Zappos different? It was not the shoes. Anyone can sell shoes. It was the customer service. Zappos had a policy that shocked the entire industry. If you called customer service, there was no time limit on the call. Representatives could talk to you for hours. They could send you flowers. They could order pizza to your house if you needed it. One time, a woman called Zappos because she ordered shoes for her mother, who had just passed away. The representative not only refunded the shoes, she sent flowers to the funeral. This story went viral. It created millions of dollars in free publicity. And more importantly, it created fanatical customer loyalty. This is the generosity monopoly. When you are more generous than anyone else in your industry, you create a competitive advantage that cannot be copied. Why?
Because true generosity requires genuine culture. It requires leadership that actually cares. And most companies do not have that. They can copy your prices, they can copy your products, but they cannot copy your culture of strategic generosity. Now let me show you this principle in a completely different context: politics. A man named Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison. When he got out, everyone expected him to seek revenge. But Mandela did something that nobody expected. He invited his prison guards to his presidential inauguration. He forgave the people who imprisoned him. He built a government that included his former enemies. Was Mandela just being nice? No, he was being strategically brilliant. By choosing forgiveness over revenge, Mandela created a generosity monopoly in South African politics. Nobody could compete with his moral authority. His enemies could not call him vindictive. His critics could not call him a dictator. His generosity disarmed everyone. This is the ultimate power move. When your generosity is so overwhelming that your enemies cannot attack you without looking petty. But here's the key. This only works if your generosity is authentic. If people sense that you are being fake, the entire strategy collapses. Mandela could pull this off because people believed he genuinely wanted reconciliation. If they thought he was manipulating them, it would have failed. This is the razor edge of strategic altruism. It has to be real, but it also has to be smart. Now let me give you a framework for building your own generosity monopoly. Step 1. Identify your arena. Where are you competing? Is it in business, in your career, in your industry, in your community? You cannot be the most generous person in the world, but you can be the most generous person in your specific arena. Step 2. Find the gap. What is the one thing that nobody else in your arena is giving? What is the one form of generosity that your competitors are ignoring? For Zappos, it was unlimited customer service. For Mandela, it was forgiveness. For you, it might be mentorship, connections, or knowledge. Step 3. Give at scale. Do not give once and stop. Build a system of generosity that operates continuously. Make it part of your brand. Make it part of your identity. When people think of you, they should immediately think of the specific value you provide better than anyone else. Step 4. Publicize without bragging. Here is the tricky part. Your generosity needs to be visible to create influence. But if you brag about it, it loses power. The solution? Let other people tell your story. Create experiences so remarkable that people naturally share them. The Zappos customer told her story. Mandela's actions spoke for themselves. Your strategic generosity should create stories that people want to share. This is how you build a generosity monopoly. You become known as the most generous person in your arena, and that reputation becomes an asset that compounds over time. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But what he did not say is this: if you can build a generosity monopoly, you can be both feared and loved. People fear losing access to you, and they love what you provide. That is the ultimate power combination. Drop this statement in the comments: I am building a generosity monopoly. Number 4. The dark side and the balance. Now let me tell you something important. Everything I have taught you today can be used for good or for evil. Strategic altruism is a tool. Like any tool, it depends on how you use it. There are leaders who use strategic kindness to build cults, to manipulate followers, to create toxic dependency. Let me give you an example of how this goes wrong. A man named Adam Neumann, the founder of WeWork. He built a company valued at $47 billion. Then it collapsed. How did he do it? Through strategic generosity combined with manipulation. Neumann would give employees free beer, throw massive parties, create a culture that felt like family. He made people feel like they belonged to something special. But underneath the generosity was exploitation. Employees worked insane hours. The business model was unsustainable. The kindness was a trap. When the company collapsed, thousands of people lost their jobs. Investors lost billions, and Neumann walked away with hundreds of millions. This is strategic altruism without integrity. This is the dark side. So how do you use strategic kindness without becoming a manipulative villain? Here is the ethical framework. Principle 1. Your generosity should genuinely help people, not just help yourself. If the only person who benefits from your kindness is you, it is not generosity. It is exploitation. You do not have to hide the fact that your generosity is strategic. People respect honesty. What people hate is fake kindness, when you pretend to be selfless, but you're actually calculating. Be upfront. Say things like, "I want to help you succeed because your success creates opportunities for both of us." People respect that. Principle 4. Do not punish people for not reciprocating. Sometimes you help someone and they cannot or will not return the favor. That is okay. That is part of being generous. If you get angry every time someone does not reciprocate, you are not practicing strategic altruism. You are keeping score like a petty accountant. Help people because it is strategic, but do not demand reciprocity. Let it come naturally. Now let me show you how to balance all of this. The secret is to have different levels of generosity for different people. Level 1. Universal baseline kindness. You're generally respectful and helpful to everyone you meet. This costs you almost nothing. This is basic human decency. Level 2. Selective strategic generosity. You identify specific people who are aligned with your goals. You invest significant time, energy, and resources in helping them succeed. This is where reciprocity gets built. This is where relationships deepen. This is where influence compounds. Level 3. Deep investment in key relationships. You have a small number of people who are absolutely critical to your mission. You go all in on helping them. This is family, close partners, key team members, people whose success is directly tied to yours. The mistake most people make is treating everyone the same. They are either generous to everyone and burn out, or they are generous to no one and stay isolated. Smart leaders have gradients of generosity. They allocate their kindness strategically, based on the relationship and the potential return. This is not cold. This is sustainable. This is how you stay generous for decades without burning out. Machiavelli once said, "A prince must know how to be a fox and a lion. The fox to recognize traps, the lion to frighten wolves." In the same way, you must know when to be generous and when to be firm, when to give and when to withhold, when to invest in people, and when to walk away. This is not about being fake. This is about being effective. Drop this statement in the comments. I practice ethical, strategic generosity. Number 5, the implementation system. All right, let us get tactical. How do you actually implement strategic altruism in your life starting today? Here's a framework you can use immediately. Step 1. Map your network. Take out a piece of paper, draw 3 circles. Circle 1, your inner circle. 5 to 10 people who are absolutely critical to your life and goals. Circle 2, your strategic circle. 20 to 30 people who could significantly impact your success. Circle 3, your outer circle. Everyone else. Most people do not do this. They treat everyone the same. This is a massive mistake. Step 2. Identify opportunities for strategic generosity. For each person in your inner and strategic circles, ask yourself 3 questions. Question 1. What do they need that I can provide? This could be advice, connections, resources, support, or opportunities. Question 2. What value can I give that others are not giving? Find the gap. What unique thing can you offer that makes you irreplaceable? Question 3. What is the highest leverage way to help them? Do not waste time on low-impact help. Find the one thing that will make the biggest difference. Step 3. Create a generosity calendar. This sounds mechanical, but it works. Schedule specific times each week to perform acts of strategic generosity. Monday morning, send 3 valuable introductions. Wednesday afternoon, write 1 detailed piece of advice for someone who needs it. Friday evening, promote someone else's work on your platform. When generosity becomes a system, it becomes consistent. When it is consistent, it compounds. Step 4. Track reciprocity patterns. This is not about keeping score, this is about being intelligent. Notice who reciprocates. Notice who appreciates your help. Notice who takes advantage. Over time, you will see patterns. Some people multiply your generosity. Some people absorb it and give nothing back. Double down on the multipliers. Reduce investment in the black holes. Step 5. Publicize strategically. When you help someone, let them tell the story. Do not brag about your generosity. Let others brag for you. This is how Oprah did it. This is how Tony Hsieh did it. Their generosity created stories that other people shared. Your job is to create experiences worth talking about. Then let the network effects do the rest. Now, let me give you 3 specific tactics you can implement this week. Tactic 1. The introduction play. Think about 2 people in your network who should know each other. Introduce them with a thoughtful message explaining why they should connect. This costs you nothing. It provides massive value. And both people remember you as the connector. Tactic 2. The knowledge gift. When someone asks you for advice, do not just answer quickly. Create something valuable. Record a video. Write a detailed document. Share resources they did not ask for. Go 10 times deeper than they expected. This creates disproportionate reciprocity. Tactic 3. The public endorsement. Find someone in your network who is doing great work. Promote them publicly. Write a post about them. Tag them. Send traffic their way. Cost to you? Almost nothing. Value to them? Enormous. These three tactics, done consistently, will transform your network within 6 months. But here's the key. You have to be patient. Strategic altruism is not a quick-win strategy. It is a long game. You plant seeds today, you water them for months, and then one day you look around and realize you have built a forest of relationships that support your success. This is how empires are built. Not through cruelty, not through manipulation, through strategic, sustainable, authentic generosity. Machiavelli once said, "Nothing great was ever achieved without danger." I say, nothing great was ever achieved without strategic kindness. Drop this statement in the comments. I am implementing strategic generosity today.
So let me bring this all together. Strategic altruism is not about being weak, it is about being wise. It is about understanding that kindness, when used intelligently, is more powerful than force. It is about building networks of reciprocity that support your success for decades. It is about creating a generosity monopoly that makes you irreplaceable in your arena. And most importantly, it is about doing all of this with integrity, so you build real relationships, not manipulative transactions. Here is what I want you to remember. Random kindness is forgettable. Strategic kindness is unforgettable. Everyone can be nice. Few people can be strategically generous. And those who master strategic generosity become the most powerful people in their fields. Not because they are the smartest, not because they are the most talented, but because they have built networks of people who want them to succeed. So here is your challenge. This week, identify 3 people in your strategic circle. Find one high-value way to help each of them and execute it without expecting anything in return. Watch what happens. Watch how they respond. Watch how your relationships deepen. And then keep doing it, month after month, year after year, because strategic altruism is not a tactic, it is a way of operating in the world.